A new bill has been introduced in Congress to abolish the ATF. Normally, this sort of thing would need nothing short of a miracle to pass, but this bill does something a little different that might make it actually have a chance. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I hope that everyone had themselves a good Christmas holiday. Before we get started, today's video is brought to you with the help of Blackout Coffee Company, the Florida coffee roaster that supports your Second Amendment rights, your favorite gun rights groups, and channels like mine. Blackout is the perfect thing to help you with your post-holiday recovery, keeping you awake, not woke. So to help support the channel and your rights, go to blackoutcoffee.com/LibertyDoll, and if you haven't already, use code LibertyDoll for a one-time 20% discount. Alright gang, so I want to preface this by saying that while election results have been promising, they are not the sign of a miracle. They are not the be-all, end-all. All our problems are not magically going to be erased starting January 20th. That's not how the world works. It's more like maybe tapping the brakes on a runaway train is how I would look at it. Anyways, calls from politicians to abolish the ATF have largely been grandstanding and virtue signaling in the past, as there wasn't a chance in hell that that would ever happen, and it wouldn't really end the unjust laws the ATF enforces in the first place. So at first, I thought that this bill was the same and almost dismissed it outright for the same reason. But this bill comes with a little plot twist, or at least a proposed plot twist, and that is that the bill wouldn't disband the ATF and its duties completely. It would instead relegate that authority back to the states. Now, of course, initial reaction here is that if this were to happen, states like California and New York and Massachusetts would get absolutely railed, and not in the fun way. It also doesn't get rid of infringements outright, just changes who is in charge of doing the infringing. But now that constitutional carry is the majority in this country, and the decent on guns states outnumber the holy crap get me out of here states, more people would gain from this bill than not. Plus, while you can't opt out of your federal government, unfortunately, you can opt out of state governments by moving to one that you align a little better with. Because let's be real, none of them are perfect. So this bill would be a redo of a bill introduced last year by Matt Gaetz. H.R. 374 was actually, again, originally introduced by Mr. Gaetz, but he resigned once he was named as Trump's pick for Attorney General, which ended up tanking. And now he's in hot water over drug and prostitution charges, which probably could actually be said about at least half of Congress. Now, some of the accusations are admittedly pretty gross, but that is not the topic of this video. Either way, other people didn't want his name on this and took it over to give it a better shot. Probably good for optics. Now, the original simply reads, abolish the ATF, and nothing else. But Rep. Barry Moore of Alabama and Rep. Eric Burleson out of Missouri plan to reintroduce it with the state provision. Burleson told Fox News Digital, the ATF is a disaster, adding that for decades they've been a disaster agency which has been violating the Second Amendment. And he said, I think at the end of the day, this agency needs to be abolished and we need to let the states police what happens to the states. Which could be said about a lot of federal agencies. I would say that probably at least 90% of what the federal government does, they have no business doing, and it should be the duty of the states. So, sign me up. He also accused the ATF of using state and local law enforcement to enforce laws that those states didn't pass. Again, very valid. Just look at the number of states that have tried to pass Second Amendment sanctuary bills, or the counties that have done that. And of course, the federal government swoops in and says, well, you can't do that, and that doesn't actually matter and doesn't mean anything. But it should. Now, according to Congress.gov, GOP reps Lauren Boebert of Colorado, Paul Gosar of Arizona, Mary Miller of Illinois, Andy Biggs of Arizona, Corey Mills of Florida, Mike Collins of Georgia, Thomas Massie of Kentucky, and Bob Good of Virginia also joined as co-sponsors. Now, we don't have a full text of the bill yet because it actually hasn't been introduced yet. To my understanding, they're still working on it. They just announced a couple days ago that they're looking to do this, so I can't report on the exact wording yet. But based on what is being said to the media, we have some hints of what is at least said to be in that bill. Now, of course, the ATF has responded by giving itself a glowing review on all the good that they do, saying that they're necessary for crime fighting and safetyness. You know, like shooting dogs and regularly raiding and harassing innocent people and burning children to death. That sort of crime fighting. So I will keep my eye out for this one for when the full text is introduced and what gets said about it. Fingers crossed on this one, gang. Am I 100% sold that this is going to pass? Absolutely not, but I think that it has a better shot of previous iterations. So that is it for this one, guys. A bit of maybe good news-ish, good thought news, we'll call it, for this post-holiday little blip before New Year's. You guys know the drill for all of the algorithm things. Please do them. Again, have a happy holiday season, though you're going to get a video tomorrow too, so I'll be saying that tomorrow as well. And as always, thanks for tuning in, guys. Stay safe out there and happy shooting.